Today I'm doing a recap video on my trip to Gatlinburg, which I went and had lots of fun. Okay, let's start with my original list. So this is a list that I had went created. Um, I did a video. I posted this video. Most of this stuff I didn't even go do. I ended up not doing the aquarium. The people I went with, they didn't want to go, so we didn't go. We didn't go fishing. We did do Dollarwood. We didn't do the trail. We didn't do mini golf. We did walk through the village of little shops as it was close to our motel. We stayed at the Howard Johnson motel on Bishop's Lane or something, 242 Bishop's Lane, somewhere like that. And it was a nice motel, so we stayed there. But I did get to go into the donut fryer. That was really the only shop I went to. But I didn't get any donuts because we had just ate at the pancake pantry. But when I go back, I will make sure I get some from there. I did get to rest, and it was a little stream in front of the motel, so I did get to see that sometimes. Eat on top floor. I didn't get to do that. I was referring to Jason Aldean's, which I put Jackson Aldean's, but it's actually Jason Aldean's kitchen. I didn't get a chance to eat there. Hotel, no. Ask for top floor, definitely do that. Dolly Parton Stampede, we didn't do that. Highlands, North Carolina. I wanted to go to Highlands, North Carolina to see the Dry Falls, but it's like a little waterfall, but I was told that those mountains in North Carolina are treacherous, and I thought that was too much. That was doing too much. Anarchista, we didn't do Anarchista. Everybody's having to go up by the truck, the little gondolas that you go across the high wire. They're redoing those to make them faster. So I think the lady said it used to take 10-20 minutes to get across. When they do the high wire, the new trams across, gondolas across are going to be fastest. I think she said 4 minutes across now. Don't quote me on that. And then I put go on Anna Vista Tower. We didn't do that. Anna Vista Skywalk. We didn't do that. Buc-ee's. We went to both Buc-ee's. We went to the one in Crossville and the one in Sevierville. We went to the one in Sevierville twice. I really liked that one. That was once the biggest one. Gatlinburg Overlook, we didn't do that. Chimney tops, we saw some mountains. I don't know if it was the chimney tops. So back over to what we actually did do. 1 second. I got a list of what we did. Okay, so now I put Gatlinburg trip recap. We left West Tennessee, which I stay in Memphis. I'm thankful to, I would like to say a thank you to all the YouTubers that have made videos. It was one guy driving through the mountains, even stuff to do in Gatlinburg. I watched videos on that. It's one guy, he does videos on just mountain driving. He's not out of Gatlinburg. He's just a guy that does videos on driving. I watch tons of his videos because I don't want to say I was paranoid, but every time you get into driving the mountains, people act like it's just something to fear. But like the person was saying, you just have to go on and do it and see how it is. And it wasn't hard at all. So I just went and watched the videos and I had did it. My son said he wanted to go to the mountains. I was going to get him to the mountains. But then I have some kind of, a little explanation. Okay? I stay in Memphis. The elevation for Memphis is 338 feet. The elevation for Gatlinburg is 1,450 feet. The elevation for Mount LeConte, I think, which is one of the highest mountains or tallest mountains in the Smoky Mountains, is 6,593 feet. Okay, this elevation and this elevation are two different elevations. Okay, so if Gatlinburg was at 6,593 feet, I would have never made it to Gatlinburg. But Gatlinburg is 1,450 feet, which is not like Gatlinburg is sitting on the tallest mountain in the Smoky Mountains. So once you get there, you should be fine. It's not like Gatlinburg is on the top of the cliff of Mount LeConte. So I think as people, when you're not from the mountains, you kind of don't know how things go. So I was just trying to let you know that I was really, myself, I was okay with the Gatlinburg elevation. You can wind yourself up to the mountains, drive all the way up to, I think some guy said he was at 5,000 feet. I wasn't interested in doing that. Once I made it to Gatlinburg, whatever that elevation was, that was okay with me. But on the way from Memphis or West Tennessee to Gatlinburg, it's two sets of mountains that you're going to be dealing with. You're going to, this Cumberland Plateau, these are the mountains that are near the area of Cookeville, Tennessee. And my ears did do something funny around these mountains. When I got in this area, my ears did start to do something funny. I won't say pop, but I guess people said, but that's what they call it, popping of the ears. But my ears did do something in that Cumberland Plateau mountain area. But when I was in Gatlinburg, my ears wasn't doing too much. Okay, so back over here to this side. All right, so we left West Tennessee. I spent Saturday night at the Best Western in the Thunderbird, at the Best Western Thunderbird Motel in Cookeville, Tennessee. I feel that these motels have come a long way, and it was a reasonable price. It was a nice hotel. The bed was extremely comfy, and I enjoyed my one night. I woke up Sunday morning. I didn't get the breakfast. I really was just focused on driving through the mountains. And my nephew went and got it. He didn't complain about it. So whatever they had, he sure ate it. And then I went to check out the laundry area. And they have a really nice high-end wash and dryer. And I think the ice machine was right in that area. So if you ever stay at the Thunderbird Motel, or I definitely recommend that for a stay in Cookeville versus staying at some big brand hotel. This place is just as nice. I try to go with Best Western when I can. I'm trying to make that my brand, but I will stay at I'll still stay at a Marriott or Hilton, but at this point I'm trying to save money on hotel, motel. So if you can find a good motel, I would suggest that versus paying a lot of money for a big brand motel. And that way you have some money, extra money to spend on your trip. Because I spent a lot of money on food, but I ain't going to talk about that today, I don't guess. I woke up Sunday morning. I got back on the road, headed to Gatlinburg. I stopped at Buc-ee's in Crossville. That was my first time in the Buc-ee's. It was nice. It was a pretty good experience. I got gas and brisket. I got a brisket sandwich. So I enjoyed that, got back on the road. Baby, about an hour or so out of Crossville, or maybe I don't know if it was an hour and a piece away from Cookville, an hour or so out of Crossville is when I started to see them big mountains. I mean, it's like this big ugly mountain that was looking at you like right off the expressway. I had to stop at that gas station bathroom, babe. I went in that bathroom stall and I was like, what the hell, what the hell, what the hell? I then collected myself and went out to my vehicle. And then I think my nephew, which would be, he would be 30 this year, I think he went in the bathroom and did the same thing. I was like, what the hell, what the hell, what the hell? I didn't expect that. I mean, I watched a whole lot of videos. Like, I've been watching Mount videos for the last year. But I wasn't ready for what I saw. But I did survive. And my nephew, when he saw, he was like, those are the mountains. And then he had to go back into his little 29-year-old self to gain his composure. And I was like, don't start that. Yeah, I got to drive all the way through this stuff. So we did make it. So I got back on the road. I made it to Sevilleville, and we ate at the Applewood Farmhouse Restaurant. There's an Applewood Grill on one side, and then the Applewood Farmhouse Restaurant is on the other side, and that's where we ate, and we really enjoyed it. It's a nice experience. It's like this big old complex, so it seems to be somebody's vision, somebody's legacy, but they really did a good job with their Applewood Farmhouse complex. It's like several little doors or several little buildings you can go into for whatever experience it offers. I will be posting some of the restaurant videos on my cooking channel. So this is not my cooking channel, but I still will let you all know that the Applewood Farmhouse Restaurant in Sevilleville is definitely worth a visit. I actually ended up going 2 days because first I got the sampler and the dumplings, they were homemade, so I had to go back a second day and get those. So then we enjoyed that, and I got a picture of the little river across the street or a video, and then we headed for the Howard Johnson Motel in Gatlinburg on Bishop's Lane. Although it's a motel, I've stayed at Marriott's, I've stayed at a Hilton, I've stayed at Best Western. These people are doing a full reservation. So I would suggest to you, if before you pay a lot of money for a high-end brand hotel, that you consider staying at the Howard Johnson Motel in Gatlinburg. That bed was comfy, the room was clean, there were no bugs, there were no funny smells. You get a balcony on one side, it has chairs on the balcony, but on the back side, I moved that chair there to see the mountain, and you can see Anarchista vehicles going up that little incline, so that's what I did. But there are even chairs on the back, like big, nice, comfortable little sitting chairs on the balcony. So that was Sunday, and I rested. My nephew hit the strip, and he couldn't wait to hit the strip. But that's a nerve for the snows. He was the one up and down the strip, like I wasn't up and down the strip, but he was, and he seemed to have thoroughly enjoyed himself. Okay, Monday we rested. We went to the Lotta's barbecue, which at the time I did my internet search, I didn't see that they were closed on Mondays. But come to find out that the Lotta's is only open on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And that was the day that it was up there raining, and the rain turned into the little flurries. And I made it way there from Gatlinburg just for them to be closed, which I don't blame them. But I guess I had did my internet search and I didn't pay attention to see that they were closed all them days of the week. But see, I'm from Memphis, and our There's like one that I know is closed on Monday, but for the most part, all of our barbecue places here are open 7 days a week. So I didn't expect them to be closed, and I didn't look close enough when I did my internet search to see that they were closed. I just was basically looking for the address and to drive there, and they were closed. But that was kind of not their fault, because like when you search something, don't look just for the address, especially out of town. Look and make sure they're open that day and what hours they open. And I had intended to make it back, but I didn't make it back. But for the next time I go, which is probably gonna be fall break, I plan. I will make sure that I make it to Dolores, because their barbecue is supposed to be so good. And I'm from Memphis, so if it's supposed to be good barbecue, then I have to go and make sure that it's actually good. So once we went to the Lawless was closed, so I did another internet search to find out what would be a good barbecue place or a barbecue place to go to. So we ended up at Boss Hogg's Barbecue Shack. And that was some really good barbecue. I had the barbecue ribs, the greens, and the beans, and it was all good. It was really, really good. And the lady, she was like, "Where y'all from?" And I was like, "We from Memphis." And it's like, "You up here eating barbecue?" And I was telling her that, people give Memphis to say, "Okay, that's a barbecue place," but really, just this Tennessee area is like that's part of all our culture. So lots of people across the state of Tennessee can barbecue. I mean, if you grow up properly or you run to the right people, they're going to teach you how to barbecue now. So it's not like Memphis has a big name, but that barbecue was just as good as I've ever tasted. And the ribs were really tender and they were good. And the greens, I did have collard greens. They were so good. And the beans were even good. So I thoroughly enjoyed Boss Hogg's Barbecue Shack. So I enjoyed that. Okay.